Hello everyone and welcome to the last quarterfinal match of the tournament. Today we are playing Sliver Hive and we're up against Mr. Turtle playing Enter the Dracomancer. We mulligan our first hand, but our second hand is fine as it does have a double predatory sliver and some more slivers down the line. And here the Terramorphic Expand searches up a mountain for our opponent, and we are still missing our mountain, so we have to keep that in mind. And here we play out our second predatory sliver, playing out the plains, so we have Path to Exile up just in case our opponent plays a Maelstrom Pulse. And there he goes, a Swamp into Maelstrom Pulse, but we Path to Exile our predatory sliver in response so the other one doesn't die, and we get to search up our mountain. So we got ramped for one, so we can play our 5-drop on turn 4 and attack with a 4-2 sliver. And their opponent just plays a 4-4 flyer that deals damage but then gets returned to his hand, so he doesn't have a blocker, and double strike sliver is gonna finish the game. So that's an early win for Sliver Hive, and we decide to side out our shocks as they don't kill the big dragons, and we side in some additional permanent removal spells like Fate's Feathers. And we also decided to try out Armageddon to destroy all the lands to prevent the big creatures from being ramped out. And here we have a fine hand after mulliganing a hand without any lands in it. This one has removal and some big creatures for the late game, and we even drew a Path to Exile. This 1/1 is going to do some damage, but it's only a 1/1, so that's fine. And here we draw Mirror Entity, which is just a 1/1, but it gets bigger if you put some mana into him. And no attacks from the 1/1. And here we have some decisions to make, but we decide just to attack and make our Changeling a 2/2 by paying 2 mana. So he gets the token, and a Bloodbraid Elf will hit the table and reveal a Banefire from the Cascade, but it doesn't do anything because there was no cost paid for it. And here we have some more decisions: Hive Stirrings or remove the creatures, and we decide to remove both creatures. This will give our opponent 5 life, but we deal 2 damage with the spell plus another 2 here, means the opponent is at 21. But here a Tyrant of Jund will steal our Changeling. We should have paid 0, so the Changeling would have died, but we thought the dragon would give our Changeling back after it died, and our opponent rightfully so points it out. But we did have the removal spell for the dragon, but our Changeling unfortunately is still in our opponent's hands as it does count as a dragon, so that's why he took it in the first place. And here we have to block because otherwise we would just die to a 10/10 creature. And here Form of the Dragon will just kill us because it basically reads you win the game against Sliver Hive. We don't have any answers for it. So the game ends and it's 1 apiece now. And I decide to side in the second Armageddon as well to prevent the Form of a Dragon from hitting the table. And here we have another fine opener with all colors we need and a Striking Sliver on turn 1. And here we can attack and play our Terramorphic Expanse as we don't have anything to cast this turn. And their opponent is on the slower side of things, so we get to play our Blur Sliver and attack for 3 points of damage. The Terramorphic Expanse searches up another mountain, and a swamp joins the battlefield, and an explosive vegetation will ramp our opponent some more. So now we have some more decisions to make. Running out a Blur Sliver is dangerous because of Maelstrom Pulse, so we decide to go for the Mirror Entity instead. And we will get punished for it because a Savage Twister will kill all our creatures. So we do have some backup left, that's why we played out the Mirror Entity, otherwise I probably wouldn't have. But a Maelstrom Pulse takes care of our Battle Sliver, And a Ogre Battle Driver from our opponent joins the battlefield, a very dangerous card. And we have some tough decisions to make here. We can either play out the Blur Sliver and kill the Battle Driver, or play out our Megantic Sliver, and we decide to go for the removal plan and attack for 2 damage. And here our opponent plays out a huge brick, just a 5/5, and he also attacks with his Flying Dragon, putting us down to 16. And here we just play out Megantic, offer the trade with Blur Sliver, and our opponent gladly accepts. So now we're left with a Megantic Sliver, and a Dragon Broodmother is gonna get exiled as soon as we can. But first, why not? Maybe our opponent makes a mistake, but it doesn't. So we remove the Dragon Broodmother, and their opponent has 1 card left in his hand. We know it's a dragon, so we're looking good, but here's Form of the Dragon again. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. So the game will end, and Enter the Dracomancer will be victorious, thanks to Form of the Dragon, a very powerful card. And there's not a single card that can help us. So we are just dead here. And there it goes. So 2 games to 1. Enter the Dracomancer is victorious. And it will advance to the semi-finals, where it will be facing none other than Mind Maze. So join me in the next game, where we see the semi-final between Dead Walkers and Avacyn's Glory. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.